Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in My City Roll and Build. This is a roll and write version of a legacy game that I very much enjoyed a few years ago with Megan, a polyomino game called My City. And in this game, each chapter of the game, you can see here, Chapter 1, Episode 2, has its own piece of paper, which I think is really great for a couple reasons. One is, by simply using paper instead of tiles, the game could include a higher player count. At an even lower price, I think, than the original My City. This game plays up to 6 players. Two, what I really like is that with the rules changing throughout this game, episode to episode, chapter by chapter, you could actually just print those rules, and they are just printed on the page itself, on the specific page. And so that was really cool, that you don't need to remember any rules, especially in a game where the rules are constantly evolving. They're always on the piece of paper that you're using at that given time. So I really like that in terms of onboarding, graphic design element of the game. My favorite mechanism in the game is how you create the polyomino tiles, because in My City, you're drawing them out of a bag. You're drawing a random tile out of the bag. Or are you selecting them? It's actually been a while since I played, but it's different than how it's selected here. In My City Roll and Build, you roll 2 dice, shared by all players. And you actually roll 3 dice, but 2 of the dice are the ones that matter for this. And those 2 dice combine together to form a polyomino. There's a little kind of half crescent moon on 2 of those dice, and you push those dice together to form a cohesive single die, a rectangular die, and that shows you what the polyomino is. I thought this was really clever. I've seen polyomino dice before, but the ones that I've seen at least have a single die, and on each side is its own polyomino. But this creates more combinations as a result, because you're rolling 2 dice and then pushing them together, piecing them together to form a bigger, more unique polyomino with more combinations. I thought that was really clever. I hadn't seen that before, and I wanted to call it out here. Last, one interesting decision that I thought was incorporated into this game that I don't remember from the original My City is a decision to pass. You get to decide when you want to pass at the end of the round. If you pass, then you don't get any more tiles. You're out of the round. But what it does do is it prevents you from losing points, because at certain times in the game when your board gets really full, if you roll those dice and a big polyomino shape comes out, like if right now I rolled a square shape, a big square, I would have no place to put it. And so instead of, basically I would have to take negative points as a result. Instead of placing a tile, writing down a tile shape in here, I would have to fill in this circle and lose 5 points for doing so. And so there was a moment in my game where most of the other players had passed, and I was like, I really want to fill in a little bit more, because every empty space is a negative point. Every rock you don't cover up is a negative point. I was like, what are the odds? I can roll one more time and hopefully fill in some stuff. And I actually did this twice. Once I was successful. The second time I wasn't successful, made me lose 3 points there as a result. But I thought it was a great decision at the end of each round of this game. Or actually, that was the full game. At the end of the game, it was a very fast game. But yeah, those are my favorite elements of My City Roll and Build. I had a good time with it at Geekway to the West recently, just playing one chapter, and I'm curious what the entire campaign would look like. If you played a game like this or this specific game, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments below. Thanks.